Okay. So I was reliably informed that I had not done a video for 31, and then I started to make a video, and now I'm making a video, and so it's just a big old mess. Um, this is slightly different than my usual, so I'm going to try typing it, which means a couple of things. A, I'm going to mess up, and things are going to go a little wild, and you're going to have patience. And two, I'm going to misspell things, and you're going to have to let it go because A, you can't tell me, and B, I don't care. So, um,
Remember, no IEs.
that was AJ, if you heard that. Okay, so um, where are we? We're talking 31 is a continuation of 30. Remember, we had in 10 to 16, and I don't know if you guys remember 10 to 16. Stop drinking. 10 to 16, where he is basically defending Caelius against accusations of being friends with Catiline. This kind of overlaps a little bit, and I don't know that we've talked about this too much, but the idea was that Caelius had borrowed money from Clodia, and there's a slight implication in there that, get rid of that. Um, that maybe he'd use the money to bribe people on Cataline's behalf. Like there's a slight undertone in that. But again, this 30 to 36 is really justification, or I should say, and I don't even want to say Cicero is defending Caelius against these accusations because he's not. What he's doing is he is slamming Clodia. So in this, we are not necessarily seeing a defense. I don't know if you guys noticed that. This isn't a defense. This is more of a character assassination. Okay, so Cicero is starting to get into it with Clodia. So he says, oh, that's too much. Let's go down here. You're going to see that gets a little bit messy, but I think you can read it. Wede, we see you're going to start with the Wideo. I'm pointing at the screen like you can see me. Wideo, I see of the two accusations, um, an author. Wideo. See, notice the tricolon. Wideo, Wideo, Wideo. I see an author. I see a fontem is like a fount. It's like a starting point though. I see the starting point. I see a nomen et caput. I see a name and a head. Okay, so he's like, I see one person. And notice he's like, I see the accuser, I see the starting point, I see the person who is at the start of all of this. So, of the C, I see of the two cases, an author, I see uh, a ooh, starting point. I see uh, certain name and head. Okay, the caput's on the next line. Okay, it's just currently covered, but that's where it is. Okay, so here's the deal. The problem is with this is I have to delete it. All right. So now we're down here in this little section. Um, Opus fuit is really, there was a need. There was a need for, that's the auto. He took up the gold. It's understood gold. It's not there. If that makes sense. So you see the sumsit. The sumsit means he took it up. Claudia. He took it up from Claudia. Oh, whoops. From Claudia. Yeah. Um, he took it up sine teste without a witness. Without a witness. Okay. Habuit, he had it diu for as long, voluit as he wanted. He had it for as long as he wanted. Okay. So that gives you that line right there. So opus fuit, there was a need auro for gold. Sumsit, he took it up a Claudia from Claudia. Sumsit sine teste, he took it up without a witness. Habuit quam dia voluit, he had it for as long as he wanted. I think the interesting thing here is that again, Cicero's not denying that Caelius took up the money. He's saying he took it up without a witness, and I think there's a fine line in there on how we're defining or defending Caelius. Um, but it's literally like if he took it up, no one saw. Like, does a tree falling in the woods without anybody there really make a noise? In this case, if money is borrowed without any witness, is it really borrowed? So, interesting. Okay, you guys should have that down. I'm going to scroll down. Whoops. I have to I have to remember how to do this online stuff. I do not like this online. Never go back to virtual teaching or learning. Um, so here we go. Video again. I see maxima signum. I see the greatest sign of a certain, remember, quis dam, make dams certain your dems are the same. I see a certain sign of a certain rather close intimacy. Familiaritas tatis here isn't just like closeness, it means intimately close. Because again, we're talking about the fact that Caelius and Clodia probably had an affair. That doesn't seem to be in question. It does seem to be how it broke up, seems to be what's in question here. Clodia is saying that Caelius tried to kill her. Caelius is saying he broke it off with her and she didn't react well. So it's kind of a he said, she said thing of a certain rather intimate closeness. All right. Egregia, oh wow, egregiae. Here, we do get egregious from that. So egregious is something that isn't just like if it's an egregious mistake, it's a huge, horrific mistake. So when I say rather close or rather intimate closeness, that's what I'm sort of talking about. It's this egregious, this overwhelming closeness that the two of them had, i.e., an affair. All right, that's the end of that sentence. We pick up the voluit. He wanted necare to kill eandem. So remember, just did that. Quies dam, certain one. Iedam, ian, I'm going to give up right now. I'm not having a good day with this. The same one. Okay, so make damn certain your dems are the same. So he wanted to kill the same one, i.e. Clodia. Okay. And I'm going to sort of delete this right now because I'm going to pick up the quaesiwit because he's going to seek out something, but I've written over it. So I'm going to delete that. All right. Text box worked great, kind of. All right, so I'm going to go down here to this line. All right, you have the quaesiwit. He sought Weniam. He sought poison. Poison, maybe. All right. Suliki Tawit. He bribed slaves. Okay, probably her slaves. Because of course you want to bribe if you want to every classic murder mystery everywhere, right? You bribe the hired help or the enslaved people to poison the food, right? That's how you get into their whatever. He prepared parawit, and that's what the potinim is here. By the way, he solicitawit servos. He bribed the slaves. Potuit. He prepared, like one would say, he prepared or like he potuit. He placed um, like I don't know. He placed the spot. Like it's like he prepared the spot. Um, he hold on. What do I want to say? But there's got to be a better way to say that. Okay, oh my God. Okay, even I can't live it. He bribed, I think that's okay. He bribed the slaves. He put to it. He like, like, he was able, I don't even know. There's got to be a better way to do that. Um, hold on, give me a second. Oops, nope, I do that. I do that. All right, so let me, oh, whoops, I've got to do this. I've got to go annotate. I'm going to delete that because I think there's a better way to do this. All right, sorry guys. You're just going to have to put up with that. All right, so the first part's totally fine. It's that little relative clause in there that's kind of messing me up. All right, so he sought poison. He soliki tawet. He bribed quos potuit those he was able, and I think it's quos seros. That's what I was doing. He was bribing those slaves that he was able to. Okay, he was able to bribe. Understood. He prepared parawit putinim. He prepared prepared the poison. He constituted, he decided the place. Okay. And then atulit, he did all this in secrecy. Atulit comes from afero, which means literally to carry, like to bring together, to carry up. But he did all this in secrecy. He carried it all in secrecy. Secret, secret, secrecy, and secrecy. Just about secrecy. This is sad. Carried it all secretly. Secretly? Secretly. Okay, we're gonna go with that. I think that's right. I looked it up. All right. So he sought the poison, he bribed those whom he was able, he prepared the poison, he decided the place, he carried it all secretly. This again is very tongue-in-cheek, and I don't know if I've made that point. Don't forget, this is all high comedy for Cicero. This is being held on a holiday. He thinks the whole thing's a joke. He's treating it as a complete farce from start to finish. He doesn't think Clodia has any leg to stand on, and he's damn sure making certain that by the time it's over, she is, completely trashed, or reputation is anyway. Okay, so Video, again, I see. You keep pulling it up. All right, I see. Oops, over. I see the magnum odium. Whoops, the greatest hatred. Um, to have arisen. Ex to say, to have arisen, arisen, 1 R or 2 R's, arisen. Oh my God, I hate doing this. With the most cruel, like, what do I say? The most cruel separation. Separate. Okay. That's the crudelissimo descidio, I should say. All right, so the most cruel hatred to have risen from this separation. And I think what he's talking about here is, again, there's sort of those two sides of this, whether Claudia accuses Caelius of trying to poison her, like he wanted to kill her because she broke things off with him, where Cicero's like, no, she's making up these accusations because he broke things off with her. This has got to be one of the worst breakups that ever happened, because it's definitely like, well, he tried to kill me, she's making stuff up. I mean, if it was in the 21st century, she'd be throwing his stuff in a pile and setting it on fire in his Porsche or something. So some sort of violent breakup, but now they're taking it to court and accusing each other of trying to murder each other. It's ridiculous. Okay. Res omnes est. The situation is for us. Well, the res, in this case, the situation in hoc causa, in this like case, is for us one thing. Omnis. This whole situation is the whole situation, affair, in this causa, in this, we could say case, I think probably works, because that's what he's talking about with this. In this trial, might even be better. In this trial for us, the Cenobis. Okay, so I see the greatest hatred, the most cruel, the whole situation in this trial for us. And again, he's going to talk to the judges. Okay, for us is, and I'm going to have to erase this. Okay, judices. Okay, judges. There we go. You know what? Hold on. I'm going to put that down here, because then I think I can do the whole thing. Okay. So this whole situation for us is judges with Claudia. Okay. A woman, mulier, uh, with Claudia. A woman not only noble, only noble, but also um notorious. Notorious. I think I've misspelled that. You guys are gonna let it go. About whom? Okay, that's the day quia. About whom? Ego. Seriously? Sorry, I'm about to lose power. All right, there we go. I'm not losing this video at this point. About whom? About whom decum nihil, I will say nothing unless nisi, okay, unless nisi, I should say. So about whom I will say nothing unless for the cause or for the purpose of depelendi criminibus of the unless it's for the purpose or for the reason of um uh dispelling the crime of the accusations of what do I want to say unless it is expelling the accusations of refuting the accusations might be better. We'll say nothing unless for the purpose of refuting, I don't think that's how you spell refuting, the accusations. But you guys are going to let it go. I'm not going to hear a word about it in class, okay? Nothing. Maybe it'll be a bonus question. Okay, so that's it. That's all 31. It is short and sweet. And what I love at the end here is when he's like, all right, I'm not going to talk about it at all unless it's for the uh um refuting of these accusations. And that's such a Cicero thing to do. He's like, listen, I'm not going to talk about the 15 people this guy has killed beforehand or the multiple bodies we've found buried in his basement. We're just going to talk about the charge that brings us here today, which is that of, speeding. So it's very Cicero to sort of lay it on thick like that and say, hey, I'm not going to talk about this at all. And in not talking about it, he obviously talks about it. So that's another very Ciceronian technique. He's like, I'm not going to talk about her. And he's trying to be a good guy because she's still a woman and she's still a married woman. And there was a certain amount of, what do I say, gravitas. You couldn't just go at her publicly without like easing into it. You had to sort of take baby steps into this. Even though it doesn't feel like he took baby steps, he did take baby steps into this. He couldn't just accuse her. Okay, so he's like, I'm not going to talk about her unless it's for this. So he's setting the jury up to be like, okay, he's not going to attack a married woman of a social status, which would have been inappropriate and rude. But then, of course, Cicero, as he warms up the judges and as he slowly inches into it by the end, is, of course, completely destroying her reputation. But it doesn't sound like it to start with. So this is very much the way Cicero works. All right, I'm going to stop this. I'll post it. You guys can, oops, I don't want a transcript of this. Hold on. Live transcript is unavailable. That's fine. Stop recording. Stop.